Sci-Fi Chronicles. Okay, so this is actually technically this is episode 55 since I started doing this. It's been over 2 years. This is the 55th interview that I've done. If you went on YouTube, you would see that there's 63 videos, but there's eight kind of randos in there. But Chris Kibler is number 55. These are the final episodes that I'll be hosting. And this one is The Righteous Brother. Chris, you get two names for this one. I think there was a part of me that was going to just name it the the brother, but the legal angle, and just getting to know you a little bit. Um, so you get the distinction of having a two-parter in all of this. And if you guys haven't figured it out, I'm on a little bit of a Metallica kick. They're coming to my neck of the woods in about 3 weeks. I'm going to go see them with my oldest son, so I'm super psyched. So I've been listening to so much Metallica music, so I just you might get all Metallica from here to the end. But anyhow, this is a different type of podcast. We're all over the place. It's just a conversation. I enjoyed it immensely, immensely. I don't know if amongst the alumni, sincerely, there is somebody more connected to everyone than Chris. Chris really has made it a point in his life to stay in touch with his guys and get to know new guys and get to know old guys and all of it. And I see it, I hear it in the texts, rather, I see it in the text messages that I've gotten from guys who I've asked about him and the things that they've said. Some really heartfelt stuff that once this airs, I'll send to you, Chris, because I want you to be able to see some of the things that people wrote. It's pretty awesome. But I meant what I said with the with Palms episode that was going to be the end of the traditional format. As I roll out the last few of these, I just want it to be, I don't know, just want to be looser, and it was more fun this way. So we, like I said, we bounce all over the place in this podcast. There's a little bit of Binghamton. There's a little bit of his life in the city, marriage, career, some funny stories, anecdotes. He's a writer. I'm trying to be a writer. Like, we talk about stuff like that. So you can skip through that if you're bored with it. But um, if you're a friend of this guy's and of this guy in particular, and you've lost some touch with him and you've thought about trying to reconnect with him. He's there. He's willing. He's ready. He's happy to. It means something to him. So without further ado, this is, I don't know how many more, but I think maybe number five as we count down to the end of this. So, The Righteous Brother, Chris Gibler. Chi-Fi Chronicles. I don't know what to call this. I call this finals, Chi-Fi finals, because these are the last run of podcasts. And this guy and I have been circling one another for the better part, I think, of 2 years. In fact, Chris, I feel pretty confident that when I did the first couple, that you and I might have texted one another very early on, just in terms of, hey, listen to them, good to hear these things, et cetera, et cetera. But that's, geez, it's a couple of years now. Like this, it's been almost, I think, 2 years since the time this started. So I'm glad we finally get a chance because I have questions. So how are you? We'll start with
Doing great.
an easy one. Where are you?
I live in Queens.
Queens. Okay. So another New York City, uh, outer borough guy. Um, all right. I said this in the last podcast, people. I'm not going to do the traditional. So questions. My first question for you. This seems to matter to you. When I say this, I mean this kind of the concept of the fraternity, the brotherhood, all of it. So I guess why? Why does it matter to you?
Damn, don't ease me in or anything. Listen,
No.
I feel blessed. Listen, I got some of my best friends in life still to this day from Chi Phi. So just that in itself is worth a lot. And just like anything else, you get what you put in, right? So I feel
Right.
like, it just keeps coming and coming. In fact, we didn't talk, we had a little intro, but we're having karaoke on Saturday. A bunch of, I think like 10 people, six Chi
Okay.
Phi guys. So, I mean,
Awesome.
we keep hanging out. I mean, I love it. So,
Where are you doing? Are you doing it in Queens? You going to be in Manhattan?
Manhattan. There's no place in Queens.
All right. Karaoke doesn't exist in Queens. Ugh, these you animals are going to drive me nuts. I have two cats and two dogs, and it appears that all of them are going to want to be in the room during this. So, but I don't think you can't hear anything, right? I think my the headphones
No, you're all good.
managed to drown out all the sound. Um, I guess so from the fraternity point, I guess like when do you know, I guess that so I get the connection for you. What is the connection to want to even do it in the first place? Going back to college.
Yeah, so I pledged as a sophomore, and freshman year I didn't even think about a frat. In fact, it was kind of crazy. I tried to walk onto the track team as a distance runner, which was just a fucking crazy thought when you think about it, because I was a sprinter and a high jumper. And for some reason I knew that I like what I could high jump was not going to cut it on the college level,
Okay.
but there was an idea planted in my brain by my coach who always said high jumpers were good 800 runners. So I had never run the 800 before. So I tried to walk on to the track team as a freshman doing distance, which meant like hundreds of miles. Like we would have these long runs where we'd go off campus, go over the bridge by the house, and then go
Right.
through the town, and then go over, that Vestal Parkway Bridge on the other side of the river and go back around. So I did lots and lots of miles. And from that, I kind of, so I knew who Brad was because Brad was kind of doing the same thing. He was a distance runner.
Okay.
His best friend was this guy, Jay Rosenkrantz, who is like Chi-Fi adjacent. I think he was Bastidas' roommate, I think, or suite mate.
Okay.
And then from that, so Jughead was the trainer for the track team at that point, or at least he was always in the training room. So I kind of knew who he was. He was this brilliant, convivial guy who, was talking to everyone in the training room. So I had those couple people. And then my sophomore year, Beefcake actually moves onto my floor. So
Mm,
Beefcake, he starts pledging in the fall. So I know who Beefcake is. Like I love Beefcake. Me and him have a thing going on still. But we were on totally different paths at that point. Like he was this is big beefcake with the bowl cut, listening to
mm.
Fish, smoking weed, playing guitar,
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
remember
sitting
that
there
guy.
like playing basketball and playing video games. So we weren't really simpatico, but I knew Conti. I knew what the hell Anthony Conti's pledge name Ansky. So I
Ansky.
was I
Yep.
was in the orchestra, so I knew Ansky, and Ansky, as you know, he's like the nicest guy in the history of nice guys. So I knew him, and then also randomly, I lived in Hinman and Smith Hall, and remember in Hinman, you have your suites, but then also like there's a communal area in the middle where there's like a table and some benches and stuff. And
Right.
so our floor was we were really tight. So we'd always be sitting in there in the communal room, and the Beaker would come with this Chi-Fi hat on and just go and not say anything, just go right into my RA's room. So I kind of knew I had a couple strands, right, of Chi-Fi,
Yeah.
thinking about it. And then when it came to rushing, I only went down because my suite mate wanted me. He's like, come with me. So we went to a bunch of different places. I remember we both got bids at SIGEP. I remember going to Pylam and then being like, yo, this whole Long Island Jews, this is not for me. Remember, remember going to SAE and being like, these guys are all these pretty rich boys. This is not me either.
Yeah.
But Chi-Fi was really, it was, especially when it was Chi-Fi versus SIGEP, Chi-Fi was just, there were so many guys who just went out of their way to talk to. I remember Penguin. I definitely remember Doughboy. Remember Pony just like being really outgoing and like, getting it going and stuff.
Right.
So when it came to down to do them, it was easy choice between Chi-Fi. And again, I wasn't really so gung ho, but once once you get that pin, then I was gung ho.
Well, I guess when you're for your experience, because I guess everybody kind of has a little bit of a notion of maybe what a frat is. Did it dispel it a little bit with those guys for you? Did you have a feeling almost of like this isn't kind of what I envisioned? Like maybe the other fraternities that you're talking about, yeah, they're a little bit cookie cutter. This is what I expect, but this group feels a little bit unique.
They felt nicer and we felt more diverse, as you know, like we're a little bit more diverse. I wouldn't say we're like completely diverse, but we're
Hmm.
definitely more diverse. Like SIGEP, especially, they came out as like a bunch of drunkards who didn't give a shit. So,
Right. Um, what's your best rush slash pledge story? You got a good one in there?
ooh, I got a couple. So I got the end one is the best, I guess. So, do you
Yeah, go in
remember
order.
do you remember the walk? So it's in Hell Week when they just drop you off in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
You
Yep.
remember that?
Sure. Yeah.
So it's Hell Week. We've been basically sleeping at the house for who knows how many days. Smell like crap. We're all wearing our standards, white hoodie, blue pants. And it's like must be like 2 in the morning when we dropped off in the middle of nowhere. And so the seven of us, two cars. I don't know if you remember anything about this, but it's like the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Just like two-lane street, no sidewalks, no lights. It's like 3 in the morning, so it's like pitch black out. And they're just like, luckily they're like, just go that way. So we start
Right.
going that
Yeah.
way, right? So we're walking, mostly in the road, but like sometimes a very rare occasion a car would come by, we'd have to like, jump onto the side of the road. But this one car goes by and it's like blaring its horn and like screaming at us. We're like, oh, okay. So we're walking a little more, and all of a sudden we hear like this breathing, just like, hey, hey, hey. And we start like, what the fuck is this?
Right. Right.
Right? So we walk a little further and we see in the middle of the road, there's an animal. And it seems like that car that just went by must have hit this animal, right?
Oh, Jesus.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So we go, and for some reason, I guess we're the upstate guys. So me and Samsonite and Brett are sent to go ahead and check it out. So we go up to it, and it's like the size of a medium-sized dog. And I'm looking at it, and it turns out it's a possum, right? I don't know if
Okay.
you've ever seen a possum in real life, but it's
I
like a
have. I mean, not super up close, but I mean, I've a good
yeah,
sense.
the giant supersized rat, like
Yeah.
ugly as fuck, and
Not pretty.
it's not dead yet. It's just
Mm.
like it's in its death throes, and it's like looking at us with this like possum black eyes, it's like petrified now, and it's
Yeah.
like. So we call back, like, yo, it's all right. It's a possum. You guys should come check it out. And I remember it's like Sweet Chuck's like, you guys are fucking crazy. I'm not checking that out. Which he's right. So Coco comes over, and Coco really he gets like down. He like gets on his hands and like hands on knees, like really checking out this weird ass fucking giant rat possum, right? And so of course Brett comes with like the running toe under flick kick, and he flicks the death throwing possum right into Coco's chest.
Oh,
So Coco starts,
dick move.
he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like losing it. And the rest of this, the rest of us, we're just fucking dying. Like, dude just got a possum freaking kicked in his chest.
And Coco's such a nice guy too. Like, I mean, he's the version, like the guy that I remember. I haven't talked to him in an eternity, but like such a like Aiden, right? Isn't it
Aiden
Aiden?
Rosales, yes.
I've seen pictures of him. I haven't talked to him, but I've seen the guy looks amazing. Like he looks like he hasn't aged a day.
He's doing great. He runs all the time, but yeah, he looks great.
Is that the thing? You look like you're in pretty good shape. You look like you're taking care of yourself. No kids, so you
I
have that.
try, no
That's
kids. It's true.
all right. We'll circle back to all right. So that's a pledge story. I don't think that walk that you talked about. I don't think my pledge class did that for Hell Week. I did. We did that as like a separate event, but similar to you, we had a car honk at us only to realize it was Neil driver, and we're like, is this like a test? Like, is he setting us up to get totally fucked? Like, if we take the ride, but that wasn't Neil's way. Neil was like, get in the car. It's like, this is stupid. Like, and we just piled. I'm not even sure if he had to do 2 trips because we had a pretty big pledge class, and I don't think he had anybody else helping him out. But I don't remember doing that Hell Week. I remember doing a lot of stuff Hell Week. I don't remember doing that drop off to nowhere. So wait, there were 7 of you guys?
7.
7 was the number, and were they? Did you know any of those guys prior to?
Think this is really right. Like I'd met Sweet Chuck one time. So this we were both sophomores, a bunch of sophomores. I think we met
Yeah.
like the first week of freshman year because one of the girls on my floor went to his high school. And back in the very beginning on freshman year, you're just hanging out with whoever you can.
Yeah.
So I think I met him one time the year before once. But other than that, no.
Okay. Do you feel in pledging like is it kind of like shit, this is actually not what I wanted it to be? Are you all in? Are you good for it?
I was all in. It was fun for the most part.
Okay. Let's talk about your career a little bit. I know, and a lot of people know kind of, where you are, but I guess is that the path? Why? Like why law?
Definitely not the fucking path. Not even
Okay.
close, right? So I don't know how far back you want to go, but so I was a bio major, pre-med bio major in Binghamton,
Okay.
right? Unlike some other people, I kind of just stuck with it, even though kind of at a certain point I knew I was going to be a doctor. Basically, when I took the MCATs and I didn't do very well,
Yeah.
junior year. So come senior year, I'm a bio major, and you know how it is. Like all the SOM guys are getting internships and jobs and stuff. So like Pyle's getting a job, Sweet Chuck's getting a job. Lurch is my roommate. He's freaking hustling his ass off trying to get a job, and that leaves me just, dude. What do you do with a bio degree?
Right.
So I applied
Yeah,
for a
it's
bunch of
pre-med or you teach,
right,
right?
right, right.
And
So I applied to a bunch of grad schools. So like you, I got into NYU. It was an easy yes. So I spent 2 years at NYU, got a master's degree in bio. Then
Okay.
after that, I worked for probably 2, 3 years in a AIDS research lab at Cornell Medical School. So that's
Mm,
I was living with Sweet Chuck up on the east side, living living our best lives. But
yeah.
meanwhile, it's crazy. It's like, you ever play the game of life with the car,
1000%. Of course.
right?
Oh, my
And I
kids love
was
it. Yeah.
yeah. So that game is all about like the career path you get in the
Yeah.
very
What
first.
turn you take? Yeah. Do you go this
Yeah,
way or that? Right.
right. So it was like I saw it firsthand. It was like, Sweet Chuck's my boy. We're living with two other guys. He
Yeah.
starts at like 40 grand doing like
Right.
Deloitte
Imagine.
consulting,
Yeah.
right? And I was seriously, I think I was making 18.5 at a AIDS research at Cornell Medical School, like a prestigious lab, just not making a lot of money. And especially when my student loans kicked in,
Right.
it's just like, damn, this fucking sucks. So I remember like I begged my PI to get he gave me a two boost raise. So the next year Sweet Chuck was at 60 and I was at like 21. The next year it was like 75 and I was like, no, I can't do this anymore.
22.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and it's a tough lesson too. Like in America, it's
Right.
not, the business guys get paid, not the researchers and the people who are like more frontline. Meanwhile, I always, I left work and I had that sense of fulfillment that I've been kind of chasing ever since. I was helping
I
save the
see.
world just by a little bit.
Yeah.
So I basically took the idea that one of my friends in grad school had been doing all along. So I just applied to law school with the explicit idea that I'd become a patent lawyer.
Okay. I
So I got into Brooklyn Law School, got a scholarship actually, same school that you just
was
talked
gonna
about.
say this is yeah, this is Jared and Andrew.
There's a bunch, and a couple people afterwards too went there. So
Wow,
it's a
Brooklyn Law. How about that?
Brooklyn Law. Yeah. So had a really great job coming out of Brooklyn Law,
Right.
um, making 150 grand a year in the World Financial Center. This is when I started living with Avinash. And dude, my dad was a cop. We were middle class all the way, not rich at
Same.
all.
Yeah.
And my office, we were on like the 23rd floor of World Financial, I don't know, 5 or whatever it was.
Right.
And I could look out my window and look at the Statue of Liberty. So it was amazing and also this is a 117-year-old patent law firm, really
Right.
prestigious.
But what year?
Oh, great question, Mike.
Yeah.
This is 2001. So I was
Yeah.
actually,
I
I
had a
remember,
feeling this is where you were going.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I remember that day when Lehman crashed, and
Yeah.
because they were like right across the street. So I remember going downstairs and all these people crying, all the people have their box of their files and stuff like that.
Yep.
So my job lasted I think we lasted until January when this prestigious old law firm lost their letter of credit and basically laid off all the first years and second years. So
Wow.
there I was. I'm like an aborted first year associate. So while the economy's crashing and all the law firms are not hiring.
Yeah.
So it was a couple
Yeah.
years it was rough. For 2 years it was pretty rough. And thankfully, me and Avi are boys, and part of the reason why he really helped carry me those couple months that were really, really tough.
Well, I was gonna say, how are you managing at 18,500 an apartment in the city with that guy? Is it just that the apartment's not that bad and there's enough of you so the rent's not too high, or do you
No,
just
no, no.
save
So so
money a little
that
bit?
so 18,500 was back in that was probably like 2003, and we had it was a 4 bedroom. Technically it was a 2 bedroom that had like it was a shady apartment, but there was four of us, and I remember my rent was like 850 or something. It
Okay.
was a different age back then.
And I heard you guys had some good parties in that place.
Dude, we had some awesome parties. So just to set it up a little bit, there was 2 bedrooms on the top floor. It was first floor and basement of a walk-up building on 71st Street. And it was come now we know it wasn't a legal apartment because it
Yeah.
was a basement with no access and stuff. So
Right.
there's two kind of smallish bedrooms on the top floor. This janky ass kitchen. I swear you couldn't even put a plate in the sink. Like not even full size of stove, not a full size fridge even. But then you go down, there was a spiral staircase. This is the first time I've ever seen a spiral staircase. Go to spiral
Right.
staircase, it goes down, and it's a partially finished basement with two more bedrooms and this big ass living room. So yeah, we had some good times, man. We really did.
But where were you coming from? You're coming from Binghamton, but before that, like where are you born and raised?
Well, I don't like to admit this. So I was born in Long Island,
Okay.
Port Jefferson, and we moved when I was like, I think I was 4 and my brother was 2. We moved up to Poughkeepsie. So
Okay. So
same high school as,
you're upstate. Yeah. My wife went to
yes.
school at Marist, so I'm pretty familiar.
Oh,
Carolyn's from Poughkeepsie too, so
yeah, yeah. So yeah, we went to the same high school.
when you crossed over, was he still in the fraternity? I'm trying to think
Yeah.
what the upside is. He still is that right at the end of his right? Is he that's his
Yeah.
probably senior year,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All right. But hold on, Chris. You go from a bio save the world to patent law, but so is the bio part, is there medicine in your life? Meaning like is there, you mentioned your dad's a cop, so is there somebody, are, are you potentially going to be the first doctor if it works out?
Yeah. What if I
If you'd seen
studied?
it through.
I mean, that was my problem. I like some other people, maybe I didn't have to study in high school. It was just easy. And then once it came to
Right.
Binghamton,
Well, that's a different,
I
yeah,
did
it's a
pretty
different
well in
level of
classes.
study though. I mean, that's, pre-med is a whole other bag of tricks, like if you're
Well,
going to go that route. Like
frankly,
law
like
school is no joke either here, so.
see, law school's no joke. But frankly, and even in Binghamton, I studied like 2 days before a test and I did well enough. And like my grades were good. It was just when it came to the MCAT, I had this one book with some practice questions and I
Okay.
went through that one time. Meanwhile, like Fenster's studying it for like 2 years before because
Yeah.
he's got the drive. I just didn't have that. So
Right. I don't, I guess, were you surrounded by a lot of guys like this? Like, was your fraternity experience a lot of driven guys? Because I've talked to enough of them now to know there's some pretty successful guys in this group, and I count you as one of them, but that must have an impact on people to some degree. I don't know why it didn't have an impact on me because I was surrounded by a lot of successful people, and I'm just messing around in college too much. But
I mean, again, Fenster was remarkable. He was, dude. We'd have the library hours and during pledging, and we just put our heads down and slept. Was freaking exhausted. Meanwhile, he's there as a junior, telling us to get the fuck up and study and stuff. So, he was always the example. Afterwards, I would say the SOM guys generally seem to have a little bit more handle on things. So they
right,
were like I saw like Sweet Chuck and Baba Booey and Pyle like getting jobs early, and even Lurch like he was hustling as my
right,
roommate. But I feel like a lot of us were kind of late bloomers in a way too, like especially like Avinash.
yeah. It hits you all at different points. Um, Completely different topic. Why did you feel the need to hurt the alumni so much when we played alumni football games? Like what was the
Because
reason
it
that
was
you
fun.
brought so much anger to the football field, Chris? Because I've told you this in person. Like I remember not being fond of you because I'm like, this guy is taking this shit way too seriously. Like, the hell? Like, what was it?
So I mean, anyone who kind of knows me will tell you I'm a competitive bastard.
Okay.
So that's part of it. That's led me well usually through my life. But also, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what play you're talking about. I still remember that too. And frankly, it's all Poopy's fault, right? Because Poopy was your quarterback, and as everyone knows, Poopy has a terrible arm, and he just like Chad Pennington you over the middle, and so you're running this way, and I'm running this way, and
I feel like I got T-boned, right? In some
you
ways,
got
like, yeah,
you got mashed.
I got lit up a little bit, and I wasn't used to, at that point in my life, I was not used to really, very rarely kind of getting put in place a little bit. I remember going back to the huddle and being like, guy's kind of a dick, huh? Like, like
Play tackle football. What do you want?
what's his deal? We're so proud. There were so many years after those games. Like there was one year where you guys were beating us so badly. I mean, now that I think about it, it was probably anywhere between 5 or 6 touchdowns. And I think we probably ran off 3 or 4 and convinced ourselves that we had somehow come back to tie you. And probably out of the generosity for the alumni, you guys were like, yeah, fine, you guys fucking you win. We ran a reverse with Tony, and we thought we had won the game, but I'm pretty
I
sure
mean,
we
no one
lost.
wants to tackle Tony, right?
Yeah, it was 49-30 by the end of it. So,
I mean, the truth is, we had a really good football team. We did IFC for a while, and
yeah,
Brett's huge. We had Barney was like running the line, and Barney can move. He's like, fast. And then
yeah, it
our
was a
secret
lot of big
weapon,
dudes.
we had like Dildo. Mike Johnson was like the Mike Vick of Chi Phi. Like he was just running around. It's true. So we were good.
Didn't know. Yeah. Yeah, we thought we had Tony and we had honorary Stork,
Stork. I
who we
remember
would just
Stork.
be like, we're gonna hand it off to you 3 times and then, see whatever yards we need left to kind of do something like that. So that was our secret weapon, but it was grunt football. It wasn't use talent. It was just grind and see if we can kind of knock these guys down. Those were fun, man. I just remember coming home on those weekends being so sore. It was like a different level of sore versus being hungover or having lifted a lot of weights and done something like that. So, um, who who are the characters, Chris? Like who are the guys? So you mentioned Nick is a standout because of the work ethic, but like who are the big personalities during your time? Like who are the larger than life guys?
Like in a good way or in a bad way. I mean,
Either
that's.
way, yeah, I guess. Well, yeah, we kind of
I,
know some of the other, but
I mean, in the bad way, Fareed was definitely a character. The good. I mean, so. Pony definitely. So Pony stayed an extra year. So he was like holding court for 2 years in the house, including when I was there. So and in
Right.
apartment three, like the
Yeah,
apartment room, right? Yeah,
that's a great apartment. Yeah.
yeah. So I remember. I definitely remember like Pony was just holding court and was awesome. Um, this is a hard question, man. I feel like the strength of Chi Phi is that we had so many different personalities and personality types. You know.
Right. What? All right. So we're just gonna keep bouncing. Law is broad, right? There's so many different things that you can go. So I understand fundamentally what a patent is. You know, I get that piece of it, but like so why so when you make the shift, so you're a good student, right? So you don't have to, you know, typically like do you have to study a while for your for shit, what LSATs? No, what am I I'm gonna get
Bar
those
exam, LSATs, yeah. Yeah.
all of it. Like do
So
you are you the normal lawyer like soon to be lawyer guy or are you able to kind of you know, I can get enough of this quickly enough and do this, you know, turn this around pretty fast because you that's a 180. You know, it's not like you went from bio to all right, you know, I'll do I don't even know engineer or something like that. Like you go from the language arts away all the way from the other side of where math and science. Like how long did it take you to get revved up for it?
so the truth, again, I'm a late bloomer too. So in grad school is when I learned how to study, like learned how to sit there and memorize shit.
Right.
So by the time the LSATs come around, I do well in the LSATs because I sat there for a couple weeks, did a lot of practice questions. You're right, definitely in terms of form, law school is really different than like bio. You just sit there in the giant lecture hall and you make notes, and law school is fucking terrifying. Like calling on you in the middle of like 300 people just randomly, just for 15 minutes straight. It's terrifying.
Right.
Um, but so for me, I already knew the path. So actually, so become a patent lawyer, there's a different bar. It's called the patent bar. So I
Okay.
actually took the patent bar in my second year of law school, like separately. So that made me a patent agent. So that means when I passed the bar, I became a patent attorney.
Okay. And the firm that you referenced before, the long-standing, been around, like, are there a lot of prestigious patent law firms that, like, for you as an up and coming, that you're like, this is kind of where I need to find my way? Like,
So it's like,
are there targets? Like, you know, everybody knows who the big consultants are back then, right? Everybody's getting a job at it's Deloitte, it's Edward Anderson, like, et cetera, and all those things. But like, where does a patent attorney want to work?
yeah, so there's definitely a couple in New York, and I ended up in one of the best ones, which is great for me, except for the fucking economy exploded.
Everything else that happened after.
But the other thing is too, it's because patent law, it's kind of centered around like you can do everything e-filing and stuff, but it's a lot of DC because the patent office is in Alexandria, Virginia, right? So being in New York
Definitely.
doesn't really help you as a patent firm.
Do you find yourself as a patent attorney still having to, does Alexandria, Virginia play a role in your life at all?
Dude, not at all, not at
Never. I
all.
was gonna say because that's I
So so
literally work in Alexandria, Virginia.
so I you know, at 2009 and 10 were really tough. And I got some jobs because I had the bio background because so that's different to have some kind of science background and be a patent attorney
Yeah.
and be a lawyer. So I got some good, like abbreviated new drug application jobs and stuff like that, like really
Okay.
boring, like bio law stuff. But frankly, I'd never really practiced as a patent lawyer. Even now people, I got a great idea and I would just refer them to my old friends who are now partners at law firms because you don't want me to write your patent. You want the expert to do it. So now I work from home, do corporate litigation. It's
Okay.
okay. It's fine. At least
So
allows me.
no office for you? Everything's out of the house?
No, I love it, dude. Ever since COVID, it completely changed over. And
Right.
now like I mean, I literally set my alarm for 7:55, wake up, sign into work, then I brush my teeth. So I'm in at 8 and I'm out at 6, 10 hours. And some days I just get Fridays off and it's just great.
Right.
It also allows me, I'm a writer too. It helps me like sometimes if I'm really motivated, I can do two things at once. Also allows me to watch Chi-Fi Chronicles at work.
Thank God somebody does. Do you are you published? Have you written anything?
Yeah, I got two books. Actually, I just finished my third. Finished is a nebulous word, but
Okay.
so I got people reading, including a couple Chi-Fi brothers, and I gotta say, Pony really hooked me up. So Pony's an English teacher,
Yeah.
and so he hooked me up. I got 8 of his 10th graders, ninth graders, 10th graders, and 11th graders reading my book, which is cool because it's main character is like 14, So
Okay.
so it's good to get that kind of perspective too. Dude, I got props here. I got books. It's my first book.
That's awesome.
You
So
could buy these on Amazon, by the way.
I
Smart
might,
plug.
well, now you're sure. Now you're just, now you're just, shamelessly promoting yourself. Now I hear, I thought the shirt was just for laughs. Um, I have questions for you. But they can wait for after this. Like, so my first question is, then we can use this on the podcast because it connects to all this. But do you self-publish? Like, how have you published all this stuff?
Yeah, so my first two books I self-published, mostly because I'm a hard-headed IP lawyer at first when I first start coming out with this, and I'm like, I can do all this myself.
Right.
And I could. I wrote the book, got an editor, Beefcake edited it for me for a little bit until I got a real editor. Um, Found somebody to format the book, learned about ISPNs and all this stuff about publishing. And honestly, it's not so hard to self-publish a book these days. There's
Mhm.
companies that help you and stuff. The problem is marketing and getting people to care.
How do you get an audience?
That's the
Yeah,
rub.
that's the tricky
So
part.
that's
Right.
what I've been struggling with that for, dude. I don't even know when I wrote that first book, probably 2016, something like that. I've been struggling with that, and just I'm Gen X like you. I don't want to be sitting on social media every day writing shit just to get it
Yeah.
out. I don't want any of that shit. So this new book, I'm thinking real hard about submitting it to some kind of so it's sci-fi to one of the sci-fi houses, just so I don't have to
Right.
deal with the marketing shit because it's draining. It sucks. I want to
I've
write. I want
I've
to.
I have a good friend who I went to high school with who wrote something, and I was asking her because I've been writing something for a long time, and I'm putting the finishing touches on it. But I was asking her, and she was like, I never wanted to go the route of an agent or anything like that because it's just a whole nother level of bullshit to have to deal with. But it got my curiosity about the publishing angle because Angelo Fuchetto and a couple of the Kappa guys, they have a good buddy who's published as well. But I think most people kind of like you're doing too, Chris, like have self-published or whether there's I know there's many different apps that can be found out there, or there's websites that you can go to. Like, I'm just learning this, but again, we can talk. I might have questions for you offline
Yeah,
about this.
talk later.
I want to talk about Beefcake for a second because Beef and I, when he lived in Westchester, hung out a little bit and got to get to know each other a little. And I don't know if I might get through all this and never talk to him. Like, is he still in your, like, in your orbit? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Like so, Beef and I have
how
the
is
same
he? I
year.
mean,
We
Beef,
lived
you're
on the
never going
same
to be on the
floor.
fucking podcast, so now I'm
It,
gonna have Chris tell
it
me how you are.
it's interesting. Like he's on a different wavelength. Like if I'm left to my own designs, I'm waking up at 10 o'clock at night and getting a beer and 10 o'clock in the morning, staying up late. He's like doesn't drink, early morning doing yoga.
Okay.
So part of the reason why I'm staying connected with him. First of all, like I meditate and stuff, and he's like way past. He's like the only guru I kind of have who's like ahead of me in terms of like meditating, doing yoga, that kind of stuff.
Right.
More so, once we were connected, we were always connected, and I try to always keep those connections. And
Yeah.
for him, it's easier because so he lives in Albany now, and my mom lives in Glenmont, which is right by Keebler in
I
Albany.
know where it
So
is. Yeah.
anytime I go up there, the week before, a week or 2 weeks before, I'm like pinging him, be like, "Yo, Beef, are we hanging out?" And it's a struggle with him sometimes. Like he doesn't necessarily want to hang out, but
Okay.
at least I know the crap out of him, and we do. So
Is he single? Is he out there? Got it. Yeah, no, for anybody who knew him, I don't think it comes as a surprise, but for people who just know the name and don't, never had a chance to be around him, like, he's a really phenomenal guitar player. And that's this one little aspect of who he is. Like, there's a lot more that goes into the guy, but that's what connected he and I because on a random alumni weekend, I found him in the corner of the house playing guitar, and he was playing Plush by Stone Temple Pilots. And I just kind of leaned over his shoulder and started singing, and he kind of gave a look to me, and he's like, you're almost in tune with this, like, and he remembered that. And years later, when we realized we were living so close to each other, he's like, "Do you want to, jam out?" And I don't play an instrument, I could hold the note a little bit, but we had a lot of fun times. Like my oldest, who's now 18, was born, and that kind of that just took out my life in many ways in terms of being able to. I didn't realize that he'd left and gone back to Albany. Is that where he's from? Is he from that area?
nice, some Goshen.
All right, so he's upstate, but not that far upstate. Yeah, shit. I don't know, Beef, if you listen, he'll listen to this one because he knows you. So,
I'm gonna text it to him. But yeah,
yeah,
I gotta say I love Beef because like we have conversations that there's no one else in Chi Phi I can have these conversations with. Just like
right.
philosophy and like old ass books and stuff. So
I think beef kind of soured on me because I kept writing songs about ex-girlfriends because I couldn't figure out what else to write about other than heartache. And he's like, every fucking song is the same thing, Geronimo. Give me something different. I'm like, I don't know what else to draw upon, pal. I'm like, isn't that what great musicians do? They write about girlfriends. Speaking of which, how do you meet your wife?
So I meet my wife in law school. So we're 4 years apart. She actually went to Binghamton and she actually dated Blue Balls for a hot second. I didn't know either of this before. Like I kind of knew Blue Balls from going back, alumni weekends and stuff like that. But then I
Blue
find
Balls is Rossman?
Steve Rossman, yeah.
Yeah. The guy
But
who's
then
got the really incredible booze collection somewhere. I think I've
and the
seen,
mustache,
and the mustache. Yeah, I've seen
yeah,
the
yeah,
pictures.
yeah, yeah. Another really motivated doctor who's doing great. But anyway, so I meet Melissa in law school, probably our second year in law school, and then we start
Okay.
dating. We start dating in just 2008, 2009 ish.
Okay.
Um, date for a little bit. I mean, Avi kind of told you the story. I don't think he gave it justice though. So I was living with Avinash downtown in this really sick apartment for two years, 3 years maybe. Um, and we both get our girlfriends. So he's dating Mega, I'm dating Melissa. And we
Right.
both give them like yeah, she's cool, she's cool. And then so we hatched this plan. We're like, yo, we should move them in. So we got a better apartment. We went from 15A to 25A. A
This could go
really,
so
really
wrong. This could have gone so
could have
bad
gone
too.
wrong, but it
Yeah.
went
Yeah.
great. So
Yeah.
so they agreed because we were all hanging out, we're all friends and stuff. So we agreed. So we get this awesome 2 bedroom apartment in Battery Park with views of the harbor. It's amazing, all windows and stuff like that. And what it did was it's like not only did it extend the Avinash parade, which is amazing. Like I love Avi.
Yeah.
But also, now it's like we are a complete family. It's like me, Mega and I would be sitting there cooking dinner together before they got back from work.
Hmm.
So we all have we have like our own jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes so I work from home and Avi, he works in the city, but he's like home at like 5. So he sets up these happy hours with Melissa that I can't even go to. So he's like sending me pictures of him and Melissa. I'm like, where are you, asshole? I'm like, dude, I told you how to work, asshole. But like they hang out
Yeah.
on their own too. So it's
Right.
great.
I mean, it's the dream, right? Like I don't know when it was decided in this life like that, oh, this is what you do. You get married, you have kids, you buy a house, you move out and everything. But really, like the way you're describing it is so freaking ideal. Like, can I grow up? Can I be a grown up with my friends? Like, can I just have a grown up life, but still be with my friends? Like, why couldn't we, if we so chose, just next step buy a bigger place? You have your side, I have my side. You want to have kids? I don't want to have kids, whatever. But we're gonna like share a space together. But for some reason, we all just kind of do things a little bit different. So when does that? Because the first apartment that you talked about. So this is the second after that, right? The one with Avi, or is it the
No, so this
third
is
or
what
the
happens when
fourth?
we don't go in order. We're jumping around. So to go back,
Got to
so
keep the audience on the edge, Chris. Here,
yeah, no,
pay
okay,
attention,
great.
fuckers.
All right. So first apartment was with Sweet Chuck and these two other guys, including this guy Wes, who's kind of our guy Stork. It's
Okay,
kind of like our Stork. He knows everyone knows him and younger than you. Um, so we lived down 71st Street for 2 years, and then we decided to upgrade. And those guys were making money. I wasn't making any money, so we
right.
got to a better apartment on 57th and First. And I got stuck with you. Remember the scam, the New York City scam, where they make the living room into a room with the fiberglass wall, and then you have to like pay the deposit.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I got the room where it would just fit my bed and a dresser, and that was it. Um,
Keep talking. I'm
so
gonna let my dogs out of the room. I'm listening.
yeah, so we lived there for a couple of years, and the cool thing is, and the reason why I'm partially blessed, we kind of kept it rolling with that apartment. So eventually, Wes moves out, and Doug Leader moves in,
My
and
man,
then
Doug Nugget.
Doug, yeah, so he becomes that's so I'm close to Doug now. I think Sweet Chuck moved out, and Proctor moved in, his brother moved in, and the third guy moved out, and Dan Levine moved in, Gerber. So now I'm living with these three younger guys who, I was a senior while they were pledging, while they were freshmen. So I mean, part of the reason I come up in a lot of these these Chi-Fi Chronicle things is because like I'm so connected with all these younger guys too, and just
You're
you know,
across all of it. It's
yeah.
dawning upon me now, Chris, that you really are the heir apparent. Like you and Avi should co-host the next generation of these chronicles because you really touch on a lot of guys, which is great. I mean, I, I can't, I don't really have a good reason. Like, I mean, I know we've all made our reasonings, in video format here in terms of why we lost connection and what happens, but sometimes it's fundamental laziness. Like it doesn't take a lot to hang out, but you can excuse it and say, well, it's for this reason, that reason, or another. But I give you a lot of credit. Like you've managed to keep in touch with people, which is,
Well,
I
I
think,
got no kids, but then again, sending a text is come on, it's so easy. Just send a
very
text.
easy.
And
Yeah.
as we know, like with all of us, and that's the beauty of our relationship, just show up with anyone, like Baba Booey shows up, and just within 5 minutes we got all our private jokes again, like going on. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, wait, I haven't talked about this. Talk to me about the last alumni event. How was it?
So it was way better than last time. So obviously you went to
Perfect.
the first one. It
Yeah.
was like very like obviously the actives knew stuff that we didn't know as we
Right.
showed up last time. So it was very bifurcated. It was like all the old guys on the left, all the new guys on the right, and we didn't hang out at all.
Yeah.
And this time was not like that at all. It was great.
So it was
Meeting
a little more blended.
blended. I mean, they even had freshmen who had pledged. Like we're worrying about our old easy to get off my lawn stuff. Like they're actually pledging again, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Um, we were playing beer pong with them. They were very grateful. We even went up to the house and like talking to them and like very thankful for us and stuff. So I mean, it was
Yeah.
it was well blended and fun. It was great.
Yeah, I was bummed out. My dad has been on and off with his health, and I could have, but it would have been such a freaking hike back and forth. And if it hadn't been for the year before, 1,000,000%, I would have figured out a way to do it. But I'm glad I'm glad for them. I mean, it's good for those young guys to still see the connections that are developed over time with all these years. All right, let's get back to you. So you and your wife meet. She's younger than you. She went to Binghamton. We'll forget the part about blue balls. Um,
I
so
tried to.
you you start you start now. Where is she from?
She's from Queens, so we actually live in her parents' house. This is why we moved to Queens. So
No
once
shit.
once we got married, she's Chinese American, so that's kind of the thing you do. You move back into the house. So they live on the third floor. We live on the second floor.
Okay,
So been
and that
living.
works. That's good. Parents, they probably won't watch this, right?
No, they're never gonna watch this. They don't, I don't think they have access to the internet. But
Yeah.
Melissa's mom's a piece of work. Listen, like we have cheap rent, but we pay in other ways. Let's put it that way. Just breathing fire from the top floor.
Your wife seems really cool, man. I don't know. I've never
She's
talked
really
to her,
cool.
but I watch. I see the pictures and some of the stuff, and it looks like you've found a good partner in this life. So
For sure. I'm really lucky.
that's great. What year do you get married? So yeah, you talked about when you first started dating. How long is it until?
2013, we got married.
Okay. And when was Abby married? You guys get married
20,
around the same time?
2013.
Oh shit. Now, serious, did you guys ever discuss like could we just keep living together? Right? Do we have to break this up?
I don't know if we ever had that discussion. I don't know. I don't know if the girls would have been down with that.
Well, where did he go? Like you guys had the apartment. Like, did you guys go to Queens? Did you and your wife then head to Queens and they
So I
headed
moved to
upstate?
Queens. No, he moved 91st Street. Bought a
Okay,
place 91st Street. So even
got it.
then, like we were still chilling all the time. I mean, the problem really became like he moved to Jersey. I think it's West Fuck, New Jersey.
Yeah,
Moved there like 2 years ago, and now it's just like I got to take a subway or two to a train. It's like 2 hour trip, so don't see them as much as I would like. You know,
right.
it's tough.
And you mentioned you have a younger brother. So where's he these days?
I got two younger brothers, so
Are you the oldest?
I am the oldest.
Okay.
So my brother lives in Chesapeake, Virginia, kind of close by you.
Okay.
Turns out he was a genius of the family. He was like the middle child who didn't do very well, went to Albany, but he went joined the Marines at like 22. So that means
Okay.
he just retired last like 6 months ago at 43.
Fuck
So
that guy.
I know. Fuck him.
Yes.
So I just called
God
him yesterday.
damn.
He's like, I'm sitting at home. I mean, he's great. So
God damn. And the other brother, what's he doing?
he he lives up by my mom, up by Albany.
Okay. You don't have to answer this point, but I'm always curious. Like, is the no kids a decision or is it just fate?
No, it's a decision. Mostly my wife
Okay.
just really doesn't want kids. Her mother,
Okay.
like I said, she's the worst person I've ever met, honestly. She tortured Melissa her whole life. So Melissa really, really doesn't want kids. For me, like I was more ambivalent. Like I like kids, but
Yeah.
thankfully, I fell into this writing stuff because I mean, that's not my kids. If I was just a nine to
Yeah.
five dude, I'd regret it or something maybe. But now it's like, dude, I got like five things on my mind. I'm like working on this, working on that. So.
Now, wait, I'm curious. Does Melissa share those same thoughts about her mother as you do, or are you able to look at it from the outside in?
Oh,
And I know,
she's the worst. Yeah, of course. I mean,
does your wife read your stuff? Like, will you like put stuff in front of her and be like, read this and give me
yeah.
your
In fact,
thoughts?
she's tough. She's like the bar. I gotta pass that bar to like let other people read it. And
All
she's
right.
reading my work now. She's like the grammar Nazi killing me. But
That's great. No, I asked this specifically because the thing that I have worked on. So I am an only child. My mother's a little bit out there. I've been disconnected for many years. Like I haven't had any connection with her whatsoever. And I was telling this to somebody recently, like I would when I got married, I would tell my wife stories about like my childhood and everything. And I'd be like, like most people do, you're like, this is normal. And she'd be like, not normal. She's like, everything you just told me is not normal. And I'm like, well, it's kind of normal. She's like, no, I'm telling you, Mike, like everything about that story just now should not have happened, but go on, and she was like, you should probably write this down at some point. And I did. So at some point I might send maybe like one piece of it to your wife just for, from one child to another, who might have had a mother who was a little bit off the reservation or whatever, intense, hardcore, however you want to put it, and all of that. So, now you're a patent lawyer. She's also an attorney. I take it. Like, what is she? What's her focus area? What does she do?
so she got a really good job. She's a lawyer for the MTA.
Okay,
So she's a New York State worker. She's got a pension. I got her good health care. But
nice.
she works in Brooklyn. So I mean, basically think about how many times I think it's like they get sued multiple times a day, the MTA,
Right.
whether like, falling down the stairs of the subway, getting hit by a bus. So she's got really good
She's
job
never out of
security.
never out of work.
Yeah, she's good. So it's good.
What is it? I don't know, Chris. Like, what does it mean, like, for the future piece of this? Like, I take it that you could probably do this for as long as you want to do it, but do you think, like, would you rather be a writer?
Are you asking me? Yes, absolutely,
Like, would
absolutely.
that be like in a perfect world?
Yeah.
Like, you could eventually be like, listen, great run as a lawyer. This has been fun, but I'm going to devote the rest of my time to developing my ideas and just publishing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I, I do this to make money because I need
Yes,
money. My student
I
loans
hear you.
are
Yeah, ultimately, that's the
motherfuckers.
thing. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I write books. I think I've written six or seven screenplays. A couple of them have actually won awards, but what the hell does that mean? Doesn't mean anything.
yeah.
It's like my analogy is like it's like, you do IVF and it's like having a baby in the freezer. It doesn't mean anything to anyone until it's actually made. And I got another like probably three movies on index cards like right here.
Yeah.
And so I could write for years and years.
I don't meet many guys like you, but I'm of the same ilk. Like I really do. It's something that, I often do late at night, and I'm kind of tapped out, but I find a lot of peace in it and it centers me a little bit. And that I
For
was
sure.
like, boy, if I could ever like make not with the goal of making money so much, like if I could sustain my life doing this, that would be great. Like it would be a lot of fun to do
It's tough
that.
though. I mean, listen, it's a labor of love for sure. I mean,
Fuck yeah.
don't mean to discourage you, but this is an old stat, but
Oh
something
no,
like
listen, I'm fully entrenched and I've got three kids I got to put through college, so trust me, my writing dreams are going to be yeah.
something like 5,000 books are published a week in America, which is just astounding number of books.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, man, is it's a losing fight because so I just read the stat a couple weeks ago. Only 25% of American adults read a book last year, which is stark. I read the
Yeah.
subway and everyone's on their phones. No one reads anymore. And just even the movies, like movies suck these days. Everything's streaming, so it's tougher and tougher. Just maybe like anything else to make a living as a writer. It's just
Yeah, you mentioned the sci-fi part of this, and I would never bring this up on a podcast, but I'm kind of curious because I'm watching something right now, and the writing on it is so exceptional. Like, are you a Star Wars guy?
I used to be a Star Wars guy until it sucks that you're talking about Andor, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good. Like, it's not like lightsabery puppets, all the shenanigans that took place after the original three. yeah, I'm just one voice in this, but like the writing is so good. It's just like next level
So
writing. Like
so
I
I've
sometimes I just rewind it to listen and I'm like, how did they write that? Like that's so like that's what it sounds like, you know, but then you listen to 99% of the shit that's out there and it's like, ugh, like,
so
just
actually
crap.
we're getting really sci-fi dorky, but
That's
so
fine.
I swore off Star Wars after that. Was it Obi-Wan? So fucking terrible. And like as a
Terrible.
writer, it was just like,
Awful.
what the fuck? Like,
Awful.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
And that's made me realize like Star Wars is not for me anymore. It's not, they're not writing it for people like me anymore. But note taken on Andor, I might check it out. Like
Give it a
keep it
shot.
as the exception. All the other stuff, I'm just no,
Give it
pass.
a shot. Like my favorite, a lot of my friends know this. Like my favorite TV show of all time is a show called The Wire that used to be on HBO.
Wire's dope.
And The Wire, when my wife and I first watched it, was when Netflix was still mailing you DVDs, and everyone in my circle at the time was like, "You need to watch this show." And I ordered it, and we watched about 3 episodes, and we looked at each other and we're like, "Not getting it, not feeling it." And about a year later, after hearing from more people that we really trusted and liked, they're like, "I'm telling you." You got to get through six. Now, trying to tell somebody that today with the attention span of people, be like, you got to watch 6 episodes of 50 to kind of get engaged with something like, fuck that. I'm not going to, I don't have 6 hours to get caught up. But I'm so grateful because again, the writing is incredible. And I never appreciated that as a kid or 20 or even 30 something. I thought about the actors. I thought about the set pieces, the effects, not the written word behind it. But that's what like older in life appreciates a little bit more. Like it's the writing and all of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
But the writing also it's gotten worse. I mean, that's a
there's
provable
so
thing.
there's so much of
Everything
it too.
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, HBO still generally is a higher bar. I meant to bring this up. You should watch The Expanse. I don't know if you ever heard of The Expanse.
The
Check it out.
Expanse. What's it
Yeah,
on?
it was an Amazon show. It might be still be on Amazon, but it's
Okay.
it's one of the best sci-fi series I've ever seen.
All right. Everybody do your homework if you're still listening to this at this
Watch The
point.
Expanse.
Yeah, you can watch that. All right, what else do I want to ask you? Do you ever lose touch? Like, is there ever a point in these 30 years after that, like you hit a streak like some of these other guys did, where you don't go like, you go 5, 10 years and you haven't talked to anybody? Or do you feel like did you always keep connections?
I always try to keep connections. I mean, New York City's kind of gotten bleak in a way though, because everyone has moved out. There's probably
Right.
like less than 10 people in New York who are still around and will hang out. You know, Mango, Baca,
Right.
Doug Leader. And then there's people like Burrell lives pretty close, so he'll hang out. Um,
Does Doug live in this? Does he live in the boroughs or in the city?
Doug lives in Manhattan, yeah.
Okay. So does well they're older guys though, like Sam Lieberman, a Kappa. I'm pretty sure. No, he's
Don't
not in
know
the
who that
city. I take
is.
that. Yeah, no, Sam.
I
He's an
mean,
attorney, but
I saw Pomsey a couple months ago.
yeah, he's I don't know. They're renovating an apartment, I think, in the city. But I think Bernie Bernstein, another, he's a Kappa, so he predates you by a bit. But there are a handful. But I understand like it's less and less. Who is the crew for karaoke?
Group karaoke, Avinash, Roel, Dougie,
Okay. You
Gerber,
obviously
me.
Gerber.
I think Proctor's coming. I think I've been working on Smithers. No, the next day is Mother's Day, so that's a little
Mm,
problematic for some. Been work. I think Baca might show up, and I think Mango. So I mean, that's pretty much everyone close to the city.
got it. Who? So I know Avinash and you are super tight, but like who became like you said my best friends came of this. Like who was in the wedding party?
My wedding party was Samsonite, Mehdi, Sweet Chuck, my other brother was in Afghanistan, so he couldn't make it.
Okay,
And Avinash was actually our officiant, so he was the one who married
I
us.
love it. Incredible.
Lurch was gave the speech, like the best man speech, and we actually Baca was our MC maitre d because like my mother-in-law, yeah,
Yeah.
go.
Let's
So it was
go.
great. Yeah, we're very
It
Wi-Fi
happened. You did
wedding.
it.
And now that I think of it, I should bring this up. I was thinking about this the other day. I think it's either 20 or 21. I think I've been to 20 or 21 Chi-Fi weddings, not including my own,
Jesus.
which is
That's
crazy. It's
that's a big number,
awesome.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I'm blessed. I got all these guys.
Have they all lasted? Are they all still married?
No,
No.
but for the
That
most
that
part,
it
yes. For
would
the
be
most part, yes.
uncanny. I got to tell you, I think you will be somewhere in the 50s of guys that I've talked to for the far majority. And this is no judgment because shit happens in life, but I'm blown away by how many guys have been married for 20, 25, 15, et cetera years. Like I don't think you draw a corollary in all of this to say, but it's been impressive. Like it's not like people and man, I count you in this group of people who've really like worked their asses off and been successful and done well. Like it's nice to see, that guys have done pretty well, in this life. So when you're the host of the podcast, like what are you going to do different? Like what part
Dude,
am I sucking at that you're going to make better?
don't really
Oh,
want to answer this.
he's not going to say.
I'm not gonna
What
do
other
this.
stories though? Because you and I, we've been waiting to do this for such a long time. Like, what I want to make sure that you have a forum here. Like, is there anything specific
Oh,
that
I got
we're not
stories.
talking about? Like
I've
that you
definitely
want to
got
make sure
stories.
gets? Yeah, hit me.
I got a good pony story. How about this one? So when Pony was living in that apartment three, that was kind of the
Yep.
hub for just like hanging out before, pre-gaming and stuff like that. And I remember there was got to be like 20 or 30 people in Pony's room, like getting wild, drinking 40s, whatever. And at a certain point, Pony gets dared to eat one of Q-Tip's cat's tins of cat food. So
Okay.
we all start like throwing five on it. We're like, yo, I'll bet you five. I bet you five. So it gets up to like $35. Granted, we were all broke and stuff. And
Yeah.
then, and it was, so he got the crowd cheering for it. And it turns out he had to put a piece of cheese on it and microwave it, which probably made it better in a way.
Ugh.
So we got Pony microwaving this cat food with a piece of cheese on it for a minute. Then he eats it, like gagging it down, and we're all freaking cheering and stuff, like yelling and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we all left. No one paid him. So Pony, I think I owe you $5 plus interest for eating the cat food.
I tell you, Pony is kind of legendary in the fraternity. I mean, if you had told me years back that that guy would be, this tenured like high school teacher for all this, I'd be like, get the hell out of that guy. Like, no way, that guy's gonna, I don't know what I would have, kind of pegged him to be, but um, we used to bust his balls like when he was in the pledging slash early brother days because you could take a little while to get his stories going a little bit.
A little while.
We like me and Greenberg sometimes would like do this with the watch. Would be like, Pony, come on, like let's get to this. Such a good guy, such a good, decent guy. Um, all right, what else? Is there anything else? Is there any other stuff that you want to make sure that we don't, leave on the cutting room floor here from those days?
I mean, I remember a lot for pledging. There are kind of flashes though.
Yeah,
I remember you remember the keg run?
of course. Yeah,
So we did the keg run. It must have been like, I don't know, March. It was still cold outside and then
right.
it snowed the day before. And so we get carted out to, it's just off the campus, dropped off. They Just a lot of things in pledging. They didn't really give you much information before. So we're not
Right.
really dressed for it too much.
Yeah.
Like granted, you're 19 years old, you can walk around in the cold.
Yeah, it
But
doesn't bother.
so it didn't bother us at first. So they give us this keg. They're like, go walk to the top of the mountain with the keg. And it's not a mountain. It's like a shaved hill with the power lines
Yeah,
going up kind of
but
thing.
still.
Still. So we walk up to the top of the mountain, right? It's not so bad, we're exerting ourselves, so it's not so cold. And then we're just standing there, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just time. We're like, what the fuck are we supposed to do now?
Right.
So we start screaming. We're like, yo, and then coordinating. Everyone's like, one, two, three, yo, screaming and listening for an answer. And there's no freaking answer. So it's like, we're probably standing up there by ourselves for like half an hour. And it's like, fuck this. It's too cold. So we like throw the keg down the hill. It like rolls halfway down the mountain. We go down the mountain. Again, there's like probably a foot of snow on the ground. We go back to the cars and we're waiting for the brothers to come back. And we're just like huddled up, freezing our ass off now at this point. And the brothers come and they're like, yo, what the fuck? Were you guys supposed to come here? And we were not having any of it. We're like, dudes, you told us to come to the top of the mountain. We went to the top of the mountain and we yelled for you. And so they didn't give us any more shit. But I remember my boy Q-Tip, cool guy to the day he'll die. He was actually rocking the moccasins with no socks, which is not obviously not conducive for like
In
big
that
tall
weather,
guys.
no, shit
So
no.
I
Yeah.
remember he took his shoes off and his feet were blue. So we all gave him our bullshits and he wrapped our his feet with our bullshit. So and that's some Upsilon brotherhood for you right there, right?
Good man. Now wait, Q birth name? Remind
Craig
me.
Watson.
Craig. I know. I remember Craig. Yeah. Craig's got the daughter who's in, I think, is modeling or like Miss
Hmm.
USA or stuff like that,
Interesting that you
right?
know that fact. Yes.
Well, he told us. Yeah, he told us at the last. Yeah, I think he's shown pictures. At the last alumni weekend.
No,
Um,
he's cool. He's doing great. They live in New Orleans. Him and his wife
okay.
are both partners at law firms, so they're killing it. More people
Is
killing it.
I sometimes wonder because I was an English major and the logical progression would have been law school. I don't know. It's sliding doors. It could all be a little bit different. You never know in this life.
Yeah, I mean, so honestly, my wife says that me losing that law firm job was the best thing that ever happened to me. And in a way, she's definitely right. I mean, why shouldn't
Right.
she? I was definitely, I was making 150 grand a year. My dad was a cop, like spending all of it, like being a fucking douchebag, and having that ripped away from me,
Yeah.
changed everything. It gave me a great amount of perspective. And I just got to say, like, that was the inflection point. I've seen it. I saw the before and I saw the after. So before the crash, 2008, some of the big law firms were hiring literally 100 people, 100 first year kids at 150 grand a year.
Right.
After that, they started hiring like 8 or 9,
Yeah.
and it's never been the same, and it still has not been the same. And I'll tell you
Yeah.
right now, AI is coming from my job like a motherfucker. Like
Mm,
we're already kind of using it, and it's coming more and more, and I really think it's gonna take out a lot of law adjacent jobs because it's good at certain things. It's good at like
right.
pattern recognition. It's good at like filling out forms. It's not good at like understanding for context yet, but it can definitely like, in terms of discovery, you give me 10 Excel spreadsheets with different tabs as a non-robot person, like it's gonna be a day, and maybe I'm gonna catch a couple things where they're different, where the computer could just do it instantly, So
Yeah. You mentioned at the beginning of this, when Lehman, the Lehman collapse and then the financial. So I had worked for Lehman and not because I had the foresight, I just found a better position and I had left but I knew a lot of people who were walking out of their offices that day with boxes and everything else. But I remember
remember it clearly.
there's a period during the, gosh, I'm going to guess it's probably in the early 2000s because it's before everything goes to shit where I interviewed for a hedge fund, and I think the guy who interviewed me, I mean, he looked like he was 22 years old. I mean, I'm probably 20, trying to think, like maybe I'm 27, 28, but I've got some experience under my belt, and I'm like, this guy who's interviewing me is easily 3, 4 years younger than me. And I had no expectation. I didn't have, I was making a good salary. I wasn't making like, I wasn't making millions of dollars, but we do this interview, and at the end of it, he goes, "You want to talk compensation?" I'm like, "Yeah, give me, a sense of a little bit and everything." And he throws out like a number like $500,000, and I'm like just sitting there trying to breathe, like because I'm not making anywhere near that. Like I'm making a good, fine salary, but I'm like, this guy's probably like 25 years old and making $1 million a year easily, and we're all doing bullshit jobs. It's all bullshit. Like when are people going to realize that this is all? But it's like you're on the train, might as well get yours while you do. I didn't get that job, and I shouldn't have got that job because I was completely underqualified for it. But I was like, what world am I living in? But similar to you, Chris, because what I do now, like you don't sniff those kind of figures. Like it's just not the reality of the circumstance. Like you can do fine and make a good living out of it, but you're never going to make $1 million a year, $2 million a year, anything along those lines. But you get, depending on what you do for your career, you can get more out of it, versus some of those other gigs. Talk to me about your arms. Like you didn't have tattoos when we were back in the day. So when did tattoos come into your life? Especially
Um,
that right arm. Yeah, your right arm's
yeah, so
you
right on,
got
it's
it.
dope. Can't really not
No,
coming
I
out
can
too well.
see it. I've got it. Like, yeah, you and Glenn Chazanoff. I should connect you and Glenn because Glenn he's a chiropractor up in Connecticut, and
Can't
I
see
mean,
that one. That's
he's
weird.
yeah. And your left arm, I couldn't see it, but
I got a
like
little one on my left arm. That was my first one. Um, Probably 7, 8 years ago. But the sleeve it was a creation of COVID.
really. Oh, so this is relatively recent.
Yeah, probably 5 or 6 years. And the thing is, so we found, my wife and I on Instagram, we found the greatest tattoo artist maybe in history. This guy is amazing. And he was in Queens where we lived.
Okay.
And it's like, you ever seen like the NBA players who have like the kids on their arm and it looks like Sloth from the Goonies? It's just like
Yeah.
terrible. This guy had pictures where there was
Yeah.
it looked
Look
exactly
like the
like that.
kid.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
oh my God. So I kind of gave him, I gave him some pictures, of like other guys' tattoos. I know I want to do
Right.
so. This is like space to Earth, and he's like, we're gonna do our own thing. And he just like he freestyled all this stuff on a piece of paper, and he's like, trust me, it's gonna look good. And I trusted him, and it does look good. It's crazy. It's like, I don't know if you can really see. There's like trees here, but I like brush my teeth, and I can see like the leaves on the
No,
trees. It's like
it's
crazy.
really. I mean, I'm just there's a part of me that has to ask, like, did it hurt? Because it
It,
looks like it took some time.
it took some time. It was definitely 4 sessions of like 4 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, so tattoos don't hurt for the most part. It's just certain areas. So like the wrist, that was excruciating, and where the skin gets really, really thin, or
Then
anything like
yeah,
on a bone. So for
yeah.
the most part, I was going to talk about the meat of my forearm and my shoulder. That's not a big deal, but a couple like the wrist, like in here, like the inner part of your elbow, that was kind of rough, but
Right.
it's not so bad.
Is that it? Do you have stuff on your legs or your back or anything, or just your arm?
No, I got one on my left arm, a little one on my left arm. I got
Okay.
plans for so I say to myself, when I sell my next book, I'm gonna get another tattoo. So I know exactly
Okay.
what I want to get. So
Anybody I know who has a tattoo has basically said something, some variation of, after I got the first one, I already had ideas. Like once that happened, like it started like like the train was rolling. Like now I have ideas for more. So you have to have that for. I have an 18-year-old son who's told his mother and I recently that he didn't want a graduation party. He wanted money for tattoos, and I'm like, you're 18, that's fine. It's just don't put it on your face. Don't Tyson me, put it on your arm, put it on your, I mean, he's got his, I like his idea. It's not a bad one. It's not like something, like a Marvel character that he's going to put on his shoulder and regret in 20 years. Like
that's
it's
good. You either
got,
get the input or you're not gonna get the input.
it's
So I
got
might as
some
well get the
lasting
input.
power. Now,
All
yeah,
right.
the one thing I have, I mean, I am no parenting expert, Chris, but I will tell you, like, I'm pretty communicative with my kids. So, I'd rather know than not know. And sometimes that has its drawbacks because sometimes my kids tell me shit and I'm like, I really didn't need to know that, but I've raised you to kind of tell me to be in the know of all of it. So, um, shit, I had another question. Damn it. Am I gonna forget it? I don't want to forget it. God damn it. I should have had that second glass of wine. I'm gonna forget. Um, what are we forgetting? What have we missed? We missed anything? Is there anything important that I've forgotten in all this?
Mm, don't know. I don't think so.
You're a good interview,
Did
man.
pretty well.
You hold your ground. I appreciate this. Like I like the guys who come in here and just are comfortable talking and just kind of letting it rip. So it's been a pleasure. So I'm glad that we got the opportunity, and I'm glad. I am glad. It's nice. I'll be honest. Like there's a part of me that's jealous is the wrong word, but like envious of like the fact that you guys get to do karaoke together. I wish I lived closer because I would 100% go out and do karaoke if it didn't mean a 4 hour back and forth drive to get to New York. Do you and your wife? Is there a part of you that envisions like, yeah, we're gonna sell this place? It's not, you're not gonna sell your place, but that we're gonna leave Queens and go out, to the lake at some point, and we're gonna write. Like, what does your wife want to do? Is she staring down? Just like, is she comfortable being a lawyer for the long term? Like, what does she want to do?
Yeah, so I mean, we definitely had these conversations, and they're very short conversations because I grew up upstate. I do like to hike. I like that kind of stuff. But
Yeah,
Melissa was born and raised in New York. She
she's a
does
city
not
girl.
want to leave. She's a city girl. So if
Yeah,
anything, we'd move close to where she works because she's always going to work in downtown Brooklyn at the MTA headquarters. But I mean, the real estate here is it's disgusting,
yeah,
gross. It freaking sucks. It's like you can get a 1 bedroom apartment in Brooklyn for like 900 grand. Like what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
so I'm not like from where we are. I mean, granted, this building's a little old. It's a pretty good part of Queens, like Jackson Heights, Elmhurst. It's good food and
Got it.
stuff. But we have spare bedroom and an office full of stuff. It's like we really have to downgrade big time to if we'd move, which is
Yeah,
rough. I got a lot of books. It's the only thing I buy is like a lot of books.
well, it's funny when I lived in Westchester because that's going back to I was living in Hartsdale when Beef was living in White Plains, and that point in the 2000s, if you wanted to buy a house in Westchester County, if you had designs for a family and you wanted a bigger place or anything, you were easily in the half million, three-quarters of a million range, but the taxes were the thing that really clipped you a little bit. It's like I can afford the house, but I can't afford the taxes. And that's why we came to Virginia. But when we came to Virginia in 2014, those same houses were a couple 100,000 less, and the taxes were nowhere near. But fast forward 10 years, if I came to where I live now back then, I'd be like, this place, it seems nice, but I'm priced out. Like I can't afford it. Like any real estate close to DC has just gotten ridiculous. Like I joke all the time. People are like, I'm like, my house isn't worth what it's worth. Like I'm like, this house isn't like it's nice, it's fine, like, but it's not. I wouldn't pay this kind of money for this fucking house. Like, no, there's no way. But um, I hope I've told my kids, my daughter really wants to live in New York someday, and I'm like, I hope you can find a way to make it work. I'm like, because I think you can't. There's no substitute for just the diversity and what you get from living in that part of the world. Like, even if it's
Yeah.
only for a year, like be there for a little bit, like experience it, the food, the culture, the theater, like all of that stuff is great. So, yeah. All right. Oh, do you want to know how the game ended?
Yes.
I know.
Tell me.
2-0. They won.
What? Are you serious?
The Knicks won 91-90.
Get the fuck out of here.
My phone just lit up a few minutes
I'm
ago,
actually,
and
my
I've
phone
looked.
has
I'm
been
like,
quarantined over there because I know like Medi and Roel would be texting
I
me.
was I was totally ready to
Are
see
you
that
fucking
Boston
serious?
91-90. They're up
Dude,
2-zip coming
oh,
home
Boston
with
choke
3 games in
artists.
New York.
Oh
God,
my
let
God.
and listen, Indiana's up 2-0 on Cleveland, and Indiana, I think they kind of kicked the Knicks' ass last year, so there's a little bit of a revenge factor if they should get through this, but 2-zip, let's go Knicks, fucking
Dude,
A,
I
let's
don't believe you.
go.
This is, jeez,
1,000%. Yeah, I'm trying to see.
damn,
And it
that's
was
just amazing.
another they say Knicks take game two behind another clutch Bridges steal. So Bridges is earning his keep at 2 games in a row with
Earning
the
those 5 draft picks that they traded for him.
hells yeah. Hells yeah. Well, Chris, listen, I appreciate you doing it. I'm glad we finally got a chance to connect. It was
Yeah,
fun.
me too.
And yeah, like keep the alumni dream and the connection alive. Like there are a few of you guys out there who really do value this connection and make a point to keep in touch with people, and I think that's valuable. It's
Thank
great.
you. You
So
don't have to tell me. I'm gonna keep doing it.
yeah, the only thing you never thought about all this time was doing a podcast. That's the only thing I beat you to. You've been writing books and doing all this stuff.
Jeez.
You should have thought of the podcast first. I mean, this was your forum.
No.
You and Samsonite could have been knocking down pods. Instead,
Samsonite,
he was doing camping trips in the woods.
I mean, we should do those camping trips again, but yeah.
It was. It's been a long time. All right, don't log off. For the rest of you, we're done here. Thanks, pal.
Later.
I'm a hustler, baby. I just want you to know.
Let you know.
It ain't where I've been,
That ain't where I'm at.
but where I'm about to go.
Top of the world.
Now, I just wanna love you.
Just wanna love
For
you.
being who I am.
Know you love me.
And with all this cash,
More money, more
don't
problems.
forget your man. Now give it to me.
Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
But don't bullshit me.
Come on, give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
When the Remy's in the system, ain't no telling when I fuck 'em, will I diss 'em. That's what they be yelling. I'm a pimp by blood, not relation. Y'all be chasing, I'll replace them, huh? Drunk on Chris, mommy on E. Can't keep a little model hands off me. Both in the club, high singing off key. And I wish I never met her at all. It gets better, ordered another round. It's about to go down. Got 6 model chicks, 6 bottles of Chris. 4 velvet ass, got weed everywhere. What do you say? Me, you, and your Chloe glasses. Go somewhere private where we could discuss fashion like Prada blouse, Gucci bra, okay? Filth Margine, take that off.
Give it to me.
Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
But don't bullshit me.
Come on, give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
Give it to me.
Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
But don't bullshit me.
Mama, give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
Yeah, save the narrative, you saving it for marriage. Let's keep it real, man, you saving it for carriage. You wanna see how far I'ma go, how much I'ma spend, but you already know. Zip zero, stingy with the Niro. Might buy you Chris, but that about it. Might light your wrist, but that about it. Fuck it, I might wipe you and buy you nice whip. Mom, but you really gotta ride nice dick. Know how to work your hips and your hands priceless. Profess your love the hove and I never let you down. Get you bling like the Neptune sound. Okay, hot hole, too hot to hold. Ladies love me long time like Tupac soul. Only way to roll, jiggering 2 ladies, I'm too cold. Motorola, 2-way page. Come on.
Give it to me.
Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
But don't bullshit me.
Come on, give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
So give it to me.
Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
But don't bullshit me.
Mama, give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
I'm a hustler, baby. I just want you to know. It ain't where I've been, but where I'm about to go. Now
been around the world. Romance and girls that dance with girls from Club Cheetah, the Club Amnesia, the Peanuts in LA, bubbling and Dublin, can't deny me. Why would you want to? You need me. Why don't you try me? Baby, you want to? Believe me. Oh,
Give it to me,
Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
but don't bullshit me.
Come on, give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
Give it to me,
Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
but don't bullshit me.
Mama, give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff. Give it to me.
there. Let's go. Ho, you are not ready. Unstoppable dynasty, young
I'm a
Hova.
hustler, baby.
Hustler.
I just want you to know,
Gotta let you know.
it ain't where I've been,
That ain't where I've been.
but where I'm about to go.
Top of the world.
Now I just wanna love you,
Just wanna love
but
you.
be who I am.
Know you love me.
And with all this cash,
More money, more problems.
forget your man. Now give it to me,
Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
but don't bullshit me.
Come on, give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
When the Remy's in the system, ain't no telling when I fuck 'em, will I diss 'em. That's what they be yelling. I'm a pimp by blood, not relation. Y'all be chasing, I'll replace them, huh? Drunk on Chris, mommy on E. Can't keep a little model hands off me. Both in the club, high singing off key. And I wish I never met her at all. It gets better, ordered another round. It's about to go down. Got 6 model chicks, 6 bottles of Chris. 4 velvet ass, got weed everywhere. What do you say? Me, you, and your Chloe glasses. Go somewhere private where we could discuss fashion, like Prada blouse, Gucci bra, okay? Filth Margine, take that off.
Give it to me,
Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
but don't bullshit me.
Come on, give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
Give it to me,
Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
but don't bullshit me.
Mama, give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
Yeah. Save the narrative, you saving it for marriage. Let's keep it real, man, you saving it for carriage. You wanna see how far I'ma go, how much I'ma spend, but you already know. Zip zero, stingy with the Niro. Might buy you crisp, but that about it. Might light your wrist, but that about it. Fuck it, I might wipe you and buy you nice whips. Mom, but you really gotta ride nice dick. Know how to work your hips and your hands priceless. Profess your love the hove and I never let you down. Get you bling like the Neptune sound. Okay, hot hole, too hot to hold. Ladies love me long time like Tupac soul. Only way to roll, jiggering 2 ladies, I'm too cold. Motorola, 2-way page, come on.
Give it to me,
Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
but don't bullshit me.
Come on, give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
So give it to me,
Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
but don't bullshit me.
Mama, give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
I'm a hustler, baby. I just want you to know, it ain't where I've been, but where I'm about to go. Now I just wanna love you, but be who I am. And with all this cash,
More money, more
you'll
problems.
forget your man.
Yeah, same song, I'm back, been around the world, romance and girls that dance with girls from Club Cheetah, the Club Amnesia, the Peanuts in LA, bubbling and Dublin, can't deny me. Why would you want to? You need me. Why don't you try me? Baby, you want to? Believe me.
Give it to me,
Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
but don't bullshit me.
Come on, give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
Give it to me,
Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
but don't bullshit me.
Mama, give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff. Give it to me.
There. Let's go. Ho, you are not ready. Unstoppable dynasty, young
I'm a
Hova.
hustler, baby.
Hustler.
I just want you to know,
Gotta let you know.
it ain't where I've been,
That ain't where I've been.
but where I'm about to go.
Top of the world.
Now I just
that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
But don't bullshit me.
Come on, give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
When the Remy's in the system, ain't no telling when I fuck 'em, will I diss 'em. That's what they be yelling. I'm a pimp by blood, not relation. Y'all be chasing, I replace them, huh? Drunk on Chris, mommy on E. Can't keep a little model hands off me. Both in the club, high singing off key. And I wish I never met her at all. It gets better, ordered another round. It's about to go down. Got 6 model chicks, 6 bottles of Chris. 4 velvet ass, got weed everywhere. What do you say? Me, you, and your Chloe glasses. Go somewhere private where we could discuss fashion like Prada blouse, Gucci bra, okay, Filth Margine.